Friends, welcome to the channel, my name is Hako. In this video, I'm gonna teach you to play Alice in the time it would take you to have a nice cup of coffee. Sounds good? Let's get into it. There is gonna be the full in-depth version of a guide as well, but this is for people that just want the crash course. So, her name is Alice Timefield. She's the newest anomaly character to arrive in Zenless Zone 0. She is an on-field anomaly carry, she is crazy strong, and she can also work as a sub-DPS in certain other anomaly teams. And before we go any further, this little girl, her name is Casca. Yes, named from the character from Berserk, my absolute favorite manga series. She is a 9 weeks old Alaskan Malamute, and she is just adorable. She's a little bit sleepy now because we've been heading to the pet store and we've also been heading by my dad's place. So lots of impressions. And just before I started recording this, we were out playing in the yard. So now she's getting a little bit eepy. Sorry about that little side quest, I just really wanted to show her off. But enough about dogs, let's talk about the bunny. Alice, just like many other characters, she has a special resource called Blade Etiquette. And as usual, we can see this resource underneath the character's portrait up in the top left corner. Now, Alice gains Blade Etiquette whenever she basically does anything. When she does any sort of attack, she accumulates this. Her max Blade Etiquette is 300, and every portion, you can see that it has like 3 portions, every portion is worth 100. Whenever an assault is triggered, Alice gains 10 Blade Etiquette, and whenever a disorder is triggered, she gains 30. She also gets 10 extra whenever she does an EX special, and like I said, whenever she does any attack on an enemy. And Alice's bread and butter is filling the Blade Etiquette bar, then holding the attack button to use up all of the meters and unleash a very hard-hitting attack called Starshine Waltz. Now, it is another Miyabi situation where we can unleash this even at like 2 bars or 1 bar, but also in a Miyabi sense, never do that, always like fully charge it. Because when we do Starshine Waltz as like a fully charged attack, it comes with some extra properties. It will trigger a polarized assault. And anyone used to playing Yanagi, you might have heard the polarized term before. It's a special kind of assault. In Alice's case, it causes an extra instance of assault to happen that disregards like the meter. So an assault will trigger on the enemy no matter like how much build-up we've done, and the build-up that we have done does not disappear. This is very, very good. And if an enemy is suffering under an attribute anomaly like shock, burning, or even assault, a disorder will also happen. That's right, Alice's special polarized assault can disorder with assault. This is huge, this is insanely big. So think of Alice kind of a mix of like Miyabi and Yanagi. Alice's dodge and their assist, nothing super fancy. A lot of characters in the game, they don't use their special attack, and the special attack is the EX special attack button if we press it when we don't have enough energy. In Alice's case, if we do a perfect dodge with the special attack... Wait, side quest again. Can you all see the little gremlin on the bed? Hello girl, what you want? Alice's special attack, if timed right, so when an enemy flashes red or yellow, can be used to do a perfect dodge. If you do a perfect dodge in this manner, you can immediately follow up with the 5th hit of her basic attack. Now this is very good because Alice also has it as part of her kit that whenever an assault triggers, her next 5th hit of a basic attack will be enhanced. Enhanced in the way of modifiers, it deals more damage, but more importantly, that enhanced attack will also give us more Blade Etiquette. Now Alice's EX specials also have this property. We can trigger a perfect dodge with them, and they will also give an extra 10 Blade Etiquette. Now she has 2 special attacks, and the big difference is one of them you press forward and she will kind of dash and position herself on the other side of the enemy, and one she takes a step back and does some slashes. And the one where we don't do a movement input or we move backwards has slightly higher modifiers, so I tend to use that one. For Alice's chain attack, it does nothing fancy, but remember, every attack that Alice does give us some Blade Etiquette. As for Alice's ultimate, it's called Starfall Finale. It does a good chunk of anomaly build-up, but most importantly, it also gives Alice 200 Blade Etiquette. And that is huge, so that means whenever we do our ultimate, we will gain 2 full bars of blade etiquette. So make sure that when you're pressing the ultimate that you're not already sitting at like 2 or 3 bars and having most of this or a bit of it go to waste. And Alice's ultimate can be like really nice to save to a stun window, because preferably we want to be able to like get 2 of her like big Starshine Waltz off in a stun window to make the most out of it. Now as for Alice's core passive, there is a lot of text, but basically, whenever an enemy gets afflicted by assault, Alice will put a damage over time on that enemy that ticks every 0.95 seconds, equal to 2.5% of the total damage of the assault that hit the enemy. So if Jane has hit the enemy for 2 million assault, well, the tick will be for 50,000, and this is not to be underestimated. And also, anytime a disorder happens with an assault, the faster it happens, the more disorder damage will occur. And this is a very nifty thing that Alice herself like makes really good use of. Like usually when we use Starshine Waltz, you will see like assault, and disorder happen at the same time, and that is beautiful. And also, whenever Alice triggers an assault, her physical anomaly build-up rate increases by 25% for 30 seconds. So once this procs once, it will stay up for the rest of that combat. Alice's additional ability is called Mystery Hunt and triggers with another anomaly character on the team or another support character. It makes it so whenever any squad member triggers disorder, Alice gains 30 blade etiquette. And also once Alice reaches 140 anomaly mastery, every additional anomaly mastery past that will gain her 1.6 anomaly proficiency. So if we eventually get say 100 extra anomaly masteries at 240, Alice will benefit of 160 anomaly proficiency. And finally, upon entering combat, Alice starts off with 300 blade etiquette, so she starts out fully stacked. As for Alice's stats and drive discs, the stats we're looking for are the ones highlighted in yellow: anomaly proficiency, attack, and anomaly mastery. And the 4 and 2-piece are kinda non-negotiable because they do such a lot for Alice. 4-piece Fang Metal, 2-piece Phaeton's Melody. For the 4-piece, anomaly proficiency, or you can also go attack if the substats are a lot better. For number 5, physical damage bonus, or attack, or pen ratio in that order. And same deal here, if one of them has like significantly better substats, go with that one. Otherwise go with physical damage bonus if all of the substats are kinda equal. But if you're running a pen engine, like Fusion Compiler, pen ratio wins out. For number 6, we want anomaly mastery. Now let's talk engines. Her signature engine is insanely good and it gives her such a massive power spike, just because it's the only engine in the game that gives this amount of like anomaly mastery, is something that Alice can use to very like good extent. And the jump from her second best one to this is significant, so like if you're planning to like invest in Alice, the engine is definitely like the first place to go. Her second best one is gonna be Sharpened Stinger, which is Jane's signature one. After that, it's gonna be Weeping Gemini or Fusion Compiler, and I've found like very similar results using both of them. Obviously, Weeping Gemini is easier to get a hold of because we can craft it at Box Galaxy. Behind that, we have Electro Lip Gloss, and at like fully startup, it is a decent enough engine, but it falls behind Weeping Gemini, because Alice is like exceptionally good at stacking this one up, because she can trigger assault without caring anything about the build up. So she fully stacks this one up very quick. Right now in the game, this is Alice's best team, although this is gonna vary, depending on the content. If it's Ice Week, maybe slotting in Miyabi instead of Vivian will give you better results, and same with Bernice if it is Fire Week. But Alice is super goddamn flexible. She works with any sort of anomaly character, and basically any kind of support character. Now she is kinda a power creep to Jane though, but she can also work excellent with Jane though as a sub-carry, which also allows like Alice's own assaults to crit. If you're severely lacking other anomaly characters, putting Alice together with 2 other supports is a viable option. I've tested this out extensively and it does work, but preferably since Alice gets a lot of blade etiquette whenever a disorder happens, we want to put her with other agents that can help her like achieve disorders. And the standout really good characters for that is Vivian, Yanagi, and Bernice. Now for her Mindscapes, don't mind that this shows up as Anby, but the standout ones are M1, and especially M2. M2 is kinda freaking cracked. M4 and M6 are good, but that's deep into whale territory. So, if you're, a spending dolphin, M2 is the one to aim for. But if you're a very low spender or maybe free to play, going for engine over Mindscapes is the smart thing to do. Now my coffee's getting cold, so let's wrap it up with some gameplay tips before we end. Number 1, master her resource management. Try to head into any stun window with enough blade etiquette to kinda do a Starshine Waltz immediately, so you might be able to do a second one during that stun window. Number 2, animation cancel or animation swap out. Alice's Starshine Waltz, her big attack that eats up all of her blade etiquette, it has a very lengthy animation to it, kinda like Miyabi's Shimotsuki stance. As soon as all of the bars are drained and she takes off into the air, you can safely switch into another character and start doing something with them. Maybe reapply a buff, or maybe procure a resource if it's Vivian, do her full basic attack combo, or an EX special. Anybody already used mastering Miyabi in this way will feel at home with this playstyle. Number 3, perfect dodges. Remember that her EX special could trigger a perfect dodge and it immediately allows you to do the 5th hit of her basic attack. Now this 5th hit of the basic attack is gonna be enhanced if the enemy has suffered from assault, which happens very very frequently when Alice is on the team. Now what we really want to do is that we want to make sure that we actually get to use this enhanced basic attack between the next assault proc, otherwise it kinda goes to waste. And the absolute fastest way to do the 5th basic attack is to perfect dodge with our EX special or a special attack. And her enhanced 5th attack is insanely good just by how much blade etiquette it gives us. Number 5, or with 4, I don't remember. Let's say number 5. Remember, if you're just starting out and she's one of your first carries and you come across something that is physical resistant, don't be too disheartened because she's better than any other normal character to deal with that, just because she can trigger assaults even if the enemy, she can trigger them consistently even if an enemy is resistant to physical, because her Starshine Waltz allows her to trigger them no matter the build-up rate. If an enemy is resistant to your element, it takes a longer time to get the attribute anomaly to actually trigger. Now Alice can actually bypass that. Obviously, bringing a character that is actually strong against whatever you're going up against is incentivized. This is more for people that have a very limited roster. You just know that there are some more routes available with Alice. Alright peeps, I promised I'd keep this short and sweet. So if you want even more tips, more in-depth stuff, you'll have to check out the full-length guide. Also, pinned in the description there will be a showcase showcasing Alice with a bunch of different themes. And there is also a link to a certain merch store where you can pick up some really cool Alice swag if you'd like. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel super free to leave a thumbs up. And if you like Zenless saucier content, maybe consider subscribing to the channel. And everybody, as always, have a big hug. And thank you so much for watching. Until next time, Hako and Casca out.